let's talk about how to plan ahead so you can get the best shots for your next trip or vacation. I've structured this video especially for those who will be on some kind of a structured or organized trip and where you don't have a lot of freedom on your schedule. However, I think some of these tips will help you no matter what kind of trip you're headed out on. So, let's roll that intro. Hey, did you notice? No ads. This vlog is not monetized and probably never will be. In order to help me out, get the word out, please like, subscribe, hit the bell, and share. I'm going to tell you about how I planned for a trip almost 2 years ago and how that planning helped me get the kind of shots and have the kind of experience that I will always remember. A while back, before I started vlogging, I was scrolling through my emails when I saw an offer to visit Vietnam for a really good price on an escorted tour, and that got me excited, and I clicked on the link to check it out. Now, people ask me all the time, why Vietnam? Well, first, Vietnam's a beautiful country. Second, though I like to photograph places, I'm more interested in photographing people and their day-to-day lives. And people on the other side of the world are especially enjoyable to visit. See, it wasn't my first time to be in Vietnam. Last time was in a little bit of a different capacity, and I wanted to see it again. Just a side note right here, I will not be talking about the U.S. involvement in Vietnam 50 years ago. I'll leave that to the historians. This vlog is about how I planned for and enjoyed my second visit. Later, I've included a brief video slideshow of some of the photos that I was able to get while I was on the trip. Wonderful trip. But this video is more about how to plan for such a trip. And after that, I'll give you one more bonus tip that can make all the difference. The next question asked especially by photographers, why an escorted tour? First, convenience. The tour company has everything scheduled, including the flights, the hotels, many of the meals, interesting places to visit, etc. B, the price. Since they book in blocks, they can often get discounted prices on all of the above. Third, an English-speaking guide who is often very helpful in many other ways. And remember, it's important. Even though you do have to meet certain timelines to be ready to catch transportation, to go from city to city, etc., you don't have to spend all your time with the tour group. Most importantly, I felt it would make a much more enjoyable experience for my wife, especially since we are older and don't have the energy and adventurous spirit that we used to have. Sometimes structure can be comforting. So no matter what kind of organized trip you've got yourself into, whether it's a cruise, a family trip, an escorted tour like ours was, or whatever it might be, you can significantly improve your chances of coming back with some great shots by smart planning. What is the planned use of your images or footage? Is it for a coffee table book or a scrapbook? Do people still do scrapbooking? Anyway, like this one that I did for sharing with your family and friends. Is it for a YouTube video or a vlog? For social media, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. And there are undoubtedly a few dozen other uses I haven't even thought about. Thinking about your planned use, what media are you going to be using? Primarily still images for a book or slideshow, mostly video, a pretty good combination of both. Are you thinking of taking a drone along? If you are thinking of taking a drone, check out the drone laws for the country or area where you're going so you can plan accordingly. I found it hard to decide where to put this important step. Should it go before the planned use, between planned use and the media choices? Because realistically, this next thing should be in the back of your mind in all your decision processes. Ask yourself, what are my main interests photographically? Or what do you want to focus on? Pun only partially intended, I guess. When you look at the photos after the trip, what do you want to see? And what do you want to see the most of? Oh, I think I just dangled a preposition. Oh well. Are you a foodie? Do you love to see the arts or crafts? Are historical sites or gorgeous landscapes your thing? Architecture and agriculture to zephyrs and zoos. Maybe you want lots of images of you and your family or fellow passengers, travelers. There are probably only a few hundred possible responses to that question. Start a list, keep it handy and develop it and refine it as you go. You'll see in the video slideshow later that I went already wanting to get lots of photos of bicycles. Bicycles parked, bicycles with people riding, pushing, repairing, and so on. Of course, you may have opportunities to get many or all of the above, and you probably want to get some of many of them. But a well thought out list of what is most important to you will help you come home with shots or clips that put a smile on your face. And isn't that what it's all about? Hold on just a minute. Thinking about the answers to the previous questions on purpose, media, and your favorite subjects, think about travel plans. Are you flying off to a far-off country, driving or taking a tour bus across your own country? Are you taking a cruise? And if so, do you have to fly to the city of embarkation and home again afterwards? How much walking, camping, hiking is involved? All of these things will play into how much and what equipment you will want to take. When I was planning my trip to Vietnam, my purpose was to get photos that I would use to make that coffee table book that I showed you, that my wife and I and our family and friends could enjoy. I wasn't into vlogging yet, and so didn't really give a video hardly any thought at all. So I can set my GoPro aside here. That didn't go. A drone was something other people did, used. Boy, a lot has changed since then. Who says you can't teach an old dog new tricks? What did I take? Well, I took the camera this is being videotaped or recorded on, not videotaped, that this is being recorded on, and I took a small low pro bag. I took the lenses and my phone and a few filters and a small tripod. That's it. The two zoom lenses, the one that comes with it and this extra one, and I used the phone more often than I used the 55 to 200 lens on it. You can get a lot of good B-roll and even some very acceptable images for use in high definition video, coffee table books with today's cell phones. And yes, you can do B-roll stills, though it seems like an oxymoron. I found it particularly useful in airports and airplanes, but that's not all. Here's a short video of just a few of the cell phone shots that I took. Hopefully you're planning far enough ahead that you don't really have to make the final decisions on the equipment until you've done a little bit more planning. Let's get on the computer and show you a little more detail of how I did my planning, starting with answering the question, where am I going to be and what will be nearby? I like to start with finding the exact location where I'll be. So looking at the itinerary, I see that we'll be spending the first couple days in that city that was known as Saigon when I was there the first time and is now called Ho Chi Minh City. The name of the hotel is the Saigon Prince Hotel. Jumping over to Google Earth, I can quickly search and pinpoint the location. Up here in the search box, I type in Saigon. Oh, look, it just popped right up. I must have searched for it before. And we click search, and Google Earth is going to run us over there and zoom us in on the place. Now I can zoom in or out and see what's in the vicinity and what might be interesting photographically, such as over here on the banks of the river. If I don't know how far that is from my hotel, and here it's not very far, but let's check it out. Up here we click on this ruler, and then we make sure we're in the line mode, and it's in miles here. So let's take a line, create a line, and go down to the river banks. 0.19 miles, or basically about 0.2 miles. So that's what, 1,000 feet. So not bad at all. We can walk that. Let's clear that out and get it out of here. Also, if you look down here, there's this tree-lined area, it looks like. And so no cars in there. So I'm guessing that this is a walking mall in the middle of the street. Turns out that that's what it was when we got there. So this gives you a good idea. Now in this case, we were staying at 5 different hotels throughout the country of Vietnam. And so what I did is I went to each one of them and did the same thing. So here we have the Hoi An, the Mondale, and all of the different places that we had. Now, this really helped out. For an example, when we were at the Hoi An Hotel, because I had explored it before, I noticed that there was this little river running right along, and I made a note in my shooting plan that we're going to talk about in a few minutes. I made a note about this river, and it's a good thing I did, because I remember the second day we were there, I was looking through my list. I said, wait, there's a river. See, if you look close, this is so heavily tree lined, and with these Vietnamese heavy actual jungle area it used to be, you couldn't even see the river from the street here as close as it was. So because of that, I was able to get some of my favorite photographs. As a matter of fact, the one that is on the cover of my book I showed you earlier is from this river, and I wouldn't have gotten it if it hadn't been for my shooting planning. Another cool thing about the ruler up here, you remember we looked at the ruler in the line mode, but you can also put it in a circle mode. And let's say you've limited yourself to a quarter mile. You know, how far can I walk? I want to walk out here a quarter of a mile. Go in, click, and start your circle, and look up there, and you can actually get to quite a bit here just within a quarter mile, or go on beyond that if you want. But just another tool that I really love in the Google Earth software. While I'm in Google Earth, I usually like to click on a number of photos just to see what other people have shot in the area. Okay, that's one of the hotels in the area. Here's another one of them. So sometimes they're very valuable. Sometimes, you know, they don't really give you much. Let's see what else. So just some ideas that you might get and say, hey, that would be worth shooting. Oh, look, these kinds of buildings along the river, great, interesting shot to go see. So gives you some ideas of what kind of things you might want to be looking for. After I've spent some time getting a feel for the areas where I'll be, I like to create a detailed shooting plan. Besides a list of cities and hotels, the tour company also provided us with a pretty thorough daily itinerary. Using that, I began creating a shooting plan for every day of the trip, including my travel days. It doesn't matter what you use, whether it's a spreadsheet like mine or a text-type document with or without columns and cells, or an old-fashioned pocket notebook. We're all different. The method doesn't matter. Just do it the way it works for you. The important thing is that you do it. When you get home, you'll be grateful that you did. In my case, I got a pretty detailed spreadsheet with the columns and for each date, and split into two for the time and activities and the shots that I wanted to take. I even split it up into early morning, before breakfast, and after in the evening, because I knew that those were the times that I would be able to get away from the group. Now, as I mentioned before, you don't have to stay with the group. You could go out on your own anytime that you want. Many of my favorite shots were taken during those times. Since I'm pretty comfortable with the keyboard, I like to create it on my computer in Google Sheets, and then I can access it from anywhere or store it on my phone in case I don't even have internet access. As promised, here's that short video slideshow of some of the photos I took on our trip, many of which I would not have gotten if I had not planned carefully for the trip. Stick around to the end for one last bonus tip that was invaluable to me. What about that bonus tip I promised? I can't tell you how many ideas I got by searching the internet and going to Instagram, Flickr, 500 Pics, and other good photography sites to search images from the area to get more ideas. I didn't try to make the exact same photo, but it inspired me or reminded me of something I wanted to get. It gave me ideas of angles or times of day and so on and so on. So give yourself a little time to go searching for great images from the city, towns, parks, and whatever. Also talk to people who've been there. And check out other places that you'll be touring and think about how you might even make your shots better than the ones you are seeing. I hope this video gave you an idea or two for your next trip and all the ones after that. If it was of any value or just entertained you, give me a like. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell so you'll get notified of future videos. Leave me a comment and tell me where you're planning on going and shooting, or some suggestions on some place I might like to go in the future. This is Scott Law, the world's oldest vlogger, wishing you the very best and looking forward to seeing you again next time. Until then, I hope you keep on keeping on. Don't be a stranger. Hit that button to subscribe. There's some more cool videos that you can watch. So check those out. Stick around. I enjoy seeing you every single time.